Well, Minnesota Wild fans, what do we do now? What do we do now? Like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, my goodness. It seems like no matter what we do, we can't get this thing right. Because we can't seem to score a goal to save our lives in the last few games. You know, so much just cutesy, artsy passing and this and that and the other thing, and not enough shots on the net. Goaltending stands on their head, but we don't have enough offense to, overcome even one or two goals. And then tonight, our offense finally gets humming. We have over 40 shots against Georgiev and the Colorado Avalanche, who are coming off of a back-to-back, by the way. And we score 2 goals. Meanwhile, the Avalanche have a total of 15 shots, 3 goals, including 2 goals on 2 shots on just the absolute, Fleury. You have to get those. 2 of those were your fault. Big time. What are we supposed to do here? It's like every night it's a Jekyll and Hyde situation with this fucking team. And I don't know what's the solution here. Other than tearing it down and starting over, or are we just gonna have to do that, or just ride out the season and see what happens? I mean, I don't even know. And you can even tell, Guerin up in the press box today, since this was a TNT nationally televised game here, even he was up in the box looking like most of what the Wild fans are looking like right now. What do we do? What do we do? It's not from a lack of talent. Because, most of these guys were here last year. And we saw what they did. Granted, it's a little bit different of an animal this year than last year. I didn't realize Fiala meant that much to this offense. I know he was a great contributor and stuff, but anyway, not to rehash open wounds there, or, just not to rehash any more things, basically, just pain or memories or whatever, but, oh, man. What do we do? It's just, every night, it's a new problem. Every time, it's a new problem. The only thing that's consistent is nothing. Nothing is consistent with this team. It's been this way pretty much the entire season. Now, does that mean Evason has to go? I don't know. Guerin, in my opinion, Guerin's fine for now, at least. Because, of what he did and rebuilt and stuff like that. And again, I understand over these next couple of seasons it's going to sting. But good God, I knew we would take a step back. I knew we would. Just because, again, last year pretty much half, if not 3/4 of the team was playing historic levels of hockey. That's just unsustainable in any sport. And then, of course, this year I wasn't expecting us to fall off a cliff like we have, but it's just, again, it's it's a different thing every time. And we finally had a lot of momentum. We finally had some juice in that third period. Shuffling the lines, getting the scoring, getting the offense just bing, bang, bong, bing, bang, bong, up and down, up and down. But it's it was all for naught. And in typical Wild fashion, this will come down to the end of the season, as a nail biter. At this point, it's the Minnesota sports curse, as I've mentioned probably several times. throughout various videos of various Minnesota sports and of various, well, topics basically. But it's just like the Minnesota sports curse. You're never good enough to make a serious run, but you're never bad enough to get that, like, generational first overall player, basically. A la Connor Bedard or, Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews or something. Granted, like I say, those aren't necessarily always guarantees, but still, it's like one of those things where we're always there in mediocrity. We're always there in the freaking middle of everything. Never good at one thing and never bad at the other thing. It's just so frustrating to see. It really is. And we have so much talent on this team, too, especially young talent that's starting to develop. I mean, Boldy's starting to get a little bit of an edge to his game. Kaprizov is still Kaprizov. I mean, that was a beautiful goal tonight. The one in the third period where he did a little backhand, just able to get it over top of Georgiev's glove here. But, again, it's just so frustrating. And honestly, if I'm the Minnesota Wild here, you may want to ride Gus into the ground. Because at this point, he's the only... Fleury's cooked right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. Granted, I mean, I know he's almost 40 already. I mean, he's got some miles on him, but at this point, you're better off just riding Gus until the wheels fall off. And just see what we have there. Keep jumbling up the lines, and hell, maybe even call some people up from Iowa. I don't know, but... Oh, boy. All I can say is the rest of this homestand, we are currently 1-2-1 in this homestand. The definition of insanity is expecting, or having the same thing happening, expecting a different outcome. And I'm insane for being a Minnesota sports fan because every year I think something is going to change, but it never fucking does. It never does. It always ends in the exact same way every year. And it's just so annoying. So, again, we'll see you Friday, and hopefully, maybe we can actually, win? Maybe get some momentum going again, because there's still hope, but I don't know. I will say, though, we'll make it interesting going into the trade deadline here. But again, I don't know. So, until we meet again, though, this is Jacob. It's frustrating at times.